Come in and let's sip this tea. Girl, come talk to me. Come on in.
Girl, come on in here and talk to me. Sit on down and relax your body.
Come in and let's sip this tea. Girl, come talk to me. Come on in.
Girl, I'm gonna tell you about the perfect week and how God keeps blessing me.
I'm here for you. I'm here for you. No matter what you're going through, let's chat. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. Girl, you know I'm here for you. Let's chat.
Please take the time to read this disclaimer, for it pertains to this YouTube channel and this YouTube channel only. Please be advised this is solely my commentary, my thoughts, and my opinions. I do, however, take the time to fact check. However, some information does slip through that is false. If at any time I present you with false information, I will come back and correct it later. Thank you. Hey, honey. Hey, it is your girl, Miss Leda, and I am back with yet another video. So, guys, today's video is going to be a reaction to a video that Mr. Gerald Jackson has done in regards to a recent case that took place in Princeton, Virginia. So we are going to get into this, honey, because this is quite sad, and I want everybody to know this beautiful young lady's name. Let's get into it, y'all.
Hello, everyone. Please come in. Hello, hello. Please come in. I hope you all are having a fantastic Saturday. Please come in. As you come in, please let me know where you are watching from today. Let me know where you're watching from today. I know I'm always in the car driving somewhere. Let me know where you're watching from today. I hope all of you are having a fantastic Saturday. But I had to come live because my spirit is disturbed, and there is something very disturbing that is happening in Princeton, West Virginia, even as we speak. I wrote a story about it late last night. I was up about 2:30, and I was watching a movie on Netflix, and my phone just started blowing up, started blowing up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on? Normally when that happens, something is going on, normally in North Carolina, you know, but of course, you know, the North Carolina beat, you know, I don't just cover stories in North Carolina, I cover stories outside of North Carolina as well. And this story particularly was coming out of Princeton, West Virginia, where a 14-year-old girl had been reported missing on last Saturday, but her sister, 16-year-old Lnda Jackson, found the her 14-year-old sister, Kierra Jackson, in their basement, hanging from a rope that had a military-style knot in it and a slit in her throat. Now, I want to make you all very clear about this story, because there's a narrative that this mother and this stepfather is trying to push, as if this was Kierra's own doing, as if Miss Kierra Jackson killed herself, hung herself, tied a military-style knot in a rope and slit her throat. We not fooled. We're not dumb. But when you love a man, more than you love your own child, you don't deserve to have kids. And I pray that you be barren the rest of your life, so that you won't never bring another child into this world. Kierra Jackson is a 14-year-old girl who had been being molested by her stepfather, this dude named Roderick Neal, who her mother, Sarah Mullins, had been dating. Okay? Now, according to Kierra's sister, Alana, they found a journal at school that belongs to Kierra. And inside that journal, Kierra had been notating that she was being molested by her stepfather. She told school officials, she told police officers, she told the child protective services down there what was going on in her home and the abuse that her stepfather was inflicting upon her, and they did nothing. They did nothing. They absolutely did nothing to help Kierra. What is so egregious and very disturbing about this is that the mom reported Kierra missing, but Kierra was dead in their basement since December the 3rd, last Saturday, all the way up to this past Thursday, hanging from a rope, making the public believe that her daughter is missing. Got people believing that Kierra is missing, that Kierra ran away, that Kierra is nowhere to be found. But the whole time, Kierra was in their basement hanging from a rope with a slit in her throat. And guess who found her? Her 16-year-old sister found her. Found her. And now the word on the street is that her stepfather has ran out of town. He gonna have the nerve to go on social media late last night and say, I ain't never put my hands on no child. I'm sorry for this loss. You couldn't even say her name. So they say that Mr. Roderick is a ex-military combat medic, and that the knot in the rope was said to have been a military style rope, being that he would, be someone who would know how to tie a knot military style. Now, this story, this is happening out of Princeton, West Virginia. Last night, the sister made a video, which it should be 2 posts below this video now. And the story should be below that video. The sister made a video last night with tears in her eyes, so emotional, because her precious little sister is gone. They told CPS what was going on. They told the police what was going on. And guess what their mother made them do? Lie and say, wasn't nothing going on in this house? Wasn't nothing happening? Because if they didn't lie, if they did not lie, they would have gotten in trouble by their parents. One of the things that Alana said in the video is that, and she made this very clear, that she wanted everyone to know that her mother allowed Roderick Neal to molest her sister for 3 years. And every time that fool got in trouble, okay? Every time that fool got in trouble, the mother, Mullins, would go to his rescue and get him out. She would bail him out, but she didn't want to bail her child out. She would bail him out, but she didn't care that her child was being molested. She would bail him out, but she didn't care that Roderick was sticking his penis in her daughter. She wanted to bail him out, but she didn't care that Roderick was abusing her children. You know why she didn't care? Because she loved him more than she loved her children. Disgusting. let's be clear. I personally don't believe Kierra killed herself. I don't believe Kierra killed herself. I believe that the stepfather, Roderick Neal, and her own mother conspired to kill her because there were so many calls. There were so many calls about abuse happening in the house. And every time CPS came out there, Kierra and her sister, her siblings, had to lie and say wasn't nothing happening. And it was getting to the point that other people was getting involved. It was getting to the point that Alana was at school telling people what was going on at home. It was getting to the point that other people started getting involved. So what they had to do was to find a way to get rid of the problem. And I believe they conspired to kill her. They told the police that they searched their entire home and Kierra was nowhere to be found. But Thursday, her sister found her in the basement, dead, hanging from a rope, y'all. Hanging from a rope with a slit, with her throat slit. And tomorrow at 2:00 p.m. at the Mercer County Courthouse, the community in Princeton will be standing together to demand justice for Kierra. Sarah Mullins, the mother of Kierra Jackson, and Roderick Neal should be in custody right now. For them to lie and say and to use this abuse that they inflicted upon her to say that her killing herself was the escape to get away from it. The girl didn't even want to stay there. She didn't want to live there. I mean, what do you do when you're 14 and your mother, the one that is supposed to protect you, is the one that is allowing you to be hurt and abused? And as a parent, who do you go to? I mean, think about it. Who do you go to? You're 14. This is your mom, your biological mom. Her stepfather, her boyfriend is abusing you. And you don't want to live there no more. But you're 14. You don't have the option to make your own decisions at 14. You are a minor. What do? You go to CPS. You tell them what's going on. They don't help you. Because every time they come out, you have to lie and say that what was reported was not true. You didn't lie because it wasn't true. You had to lie because you probably didn't want to get beat again. You probably didn't want to be touched. What if that was the punishment Roderick was inflicting upon this young girl? Every time she did something wrong, he'd go in her room and molest her and touch her. That was his way of punishing her. And you as a mother don't do nothing. Do you have that much low self-esteem? Are you afraid that he might kill you? Every parent should want to lay their life down for their child. They failed this girl. And Roderick Neal needs to be in jail, and so does the mom, Mullins. I wanted to come on here because I wanted you guys to understand that this is very disturbing, and this is developing news out of Princeton, West Virginia. Mainstream media is not going to tell you all of these details that are going on right now like I am, because they are having to be waiting on officials. but there's a community who needs Kierra's voice heard. And the problem and the things that have been said on social media, and I also included in the story, was that Roderick and the mother Mullins were denying law enforcement entry into the basement. Now, I don't know if that's a fact, but that is what's been circulating on social media. That's what was in his comments under his Facebook post that he made last night trying to defend himself. Boy, you can't defend yourself. So I want you guys to go to the NCV and you'll be able to read the story. All right. So I'm going to be covering this story. I am in contact with sources in Princeton, West Virginia. I'm going to be covering this story. I'm going to be, closely monitoring it, closely writing about it, blogging about it, going live about it. So I want to keep you guys informed. This right here deserves national attention right now. Everybody in the world should know who Kierra Jackson is right now, because this is a very disturbing story. And the thing about it is, it reminds me of the Mariah Woods case, which the perpetrator, Adolphus Earl Kimry, will be in court this Monday coming up in Onslow County. I remember in 2017, Earl Kimry called 911 and he said that Mariah Woods was missing. And the whole time, he was the one that killed her, raped her, and threw her in the river. And it just reminds me, this is kind of similar to that, for the simple fact that this mother called 911, reported her daughter missing, and she was in the basement dead, hanging from a rope the whole time. So I'll be covering this story. I'll put the link to the story in the description of this video, so you guys can read the story with all of the latest developing information that we have obtained as it relates to Kierra's death. So I want you guys to just know that disturbing news is coming out of Princeton, West Virginia, in the death of 14-year-old Kierra Jackson.
Okay, so y'all want my thoughts and opinion. Here we go. Nothing will ever come before my child besides God. Nothing will ever come before my child besides God. My child didn't ask to be brought into this world. My child is a product of me. My child is innocent. My child is off limits. To hear that this mother allowed her boyfriend to molest her child pisses me off to no ends. What in the world could you possibly be thinking to sacrifice your child to maintain a relationship? And then to hear that you reported your child missing on a Saturday, only for the child to be found within your home, hanging from a rope. And the key detail was a military-style knot was in the rope, and she had a slit in her throat. Now, Kierra was only 14 years of age. So there's no way in the world that she could have tied a military-style knot. No way. But who was in the military was their boyfriend. So what baffles me is, here it is, you know this man has been abusing your children. Yet you take the time to go and get him out of jail. You utilize money that could be going towards your children and your getaway to go bail this man out every time that he went to jail. Baby, you don't deserve to be called a mother. You don't. You definitely don't. I I hope that somewhere down the line, justice for this baby will be obtained. I don't understand how CPS did not remove these children after continuous reports. I don't understand how this mother and this stepfather is not in jail for falsifying a police report, because you reported that the girl was missing. However, she was in the basement, but you claim you searched the house. Why didn't the police search the house when they came out for the report to say that the child was missing? I'm not grasping and I'm not understanding. I don't do too well when it comes to messing with children. This kind of stuff right here pisses me off to the highest festivity. But when it comes to my child, I'm not going to play. When it comes to my child, baby, I'll go to jail because I'm going to do the fool. I'm going to do the fool behind mine. And trust, believe, if my child comes and tells me that you have put your hands on her, sexually assaulted her, y'all forgive me, but I don't care who it is. I'm going to jail behind mine. To hear that this baby's only outlet was to write in a journal, to release in a journal what all was going on within that home. That's heartbreaking. Your child ought to be able to come to you and tell you anything. And you ought to be able to protect them. And if you can't, you ought to know what companies or who can protect y'all. But to sit there and to allow this child to be assaulted sexually for 3 years is mind-boggling. What, you wasn't good enough for him? That he had to move on to your child? And you had to sacrifice your child to keep a man? Oh, no way in hell. I'm sorry, no way in hell, no way in hell. Not mine, not mine. I do not get it. I do not understand. I'm not taking not one red iota from my child to give to a man. I'm not. Now, if I'm dating, I'm in a relationship, we should definitely be helpmates to one another. It shouldn't be one-sided. By no means should it be one-sided. But if I'm doing all the helping, then I can do bad by myself. But never will it be a sacrifice pertaining to my child. Y'all, please pray for Kierra's sister, who is 16, and now has to live with the image of finding her sister dead in the basement. Please pray for her. Touch her heart, Lord. Please touch her heart. Heal her right now where she's weak. And I pray for that mother and that so-called father figure. I pray that it eats them alive and that they finally tell the truth in regards to what transpired to this baby. I pray that God will allow justice for this child. Y'all, I can't keep going on because I get to cussing on this one. And I'm trying to refrain from cussing. Ooh, but it's not easy because this one has made me mad. Y'all, I'm your girl, Miss Leda. I'm opinionated, I'm unbothered, and I am unapologetically me. Until next time. Until next time, y'all, I am your girl, Miss Leda, saying bye, honey, bye. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And as always, I thank you for watching.
Come in and let's sip this tea. Girl, come talk to me. Come on in.
Girl, come on in here and talk to me. Sit on down and relax your tired feet.
Come in and let's sip this tea. Girl, come talk to me.